The first time I saw that laminated sign zip-tied to my fence, I thought it was a prank. Big, bold letters, laminated like it came straight out of some middle school student council meeting. Community feature effective immediately. My name is Luke, and I own a 5-acre ranch that happens to sit right on the edge of a suburban development run by one of those nightmare HOAs, the kind where folks like Karen thrive. And yeah, I mean that literally. Her name's Karen. Karen Ballister, HOA vice president. She's got that energy like she's been waiting her whole life to file a noise complaint. The type who peeks through her blinds just to time how long your trash can sit on the curb. That pond behind my ranch. It's mine. Been in my family since my grandfather dug it out back in the 70s. I use it to train patrol stallions, big boys like Atlas, Brick, and Hammer. I don't let anyone near it without permission. But suddenly Karen decides it's a community feature because HOA guests enjoy the view during their walks. That's when I knew she'd lost her mind. Next thing I know, she's organizing some kind of spring lake jamboree right there on my property. Yoga classes, dockside brunch, a live DJ, even. She had the nerve to put up event posters with a photo of my pond. I stormed into the HOA clubhouse with the sign in my hand, ready to end it. Karen looked up from her pineapple print laptop and said, "Oh, Luke, just the man we needed. You'll be thrilled to help with logistics." I told her that pond was private property. She gave me that thin-lipped smile and said, "The community beautification clause gives us aesthetic use of adjacent features." It's about unity. Aesthetic use. That's not even a thing. And I'm no rookie. I've dealt with land disputes before. I asked to see the clause. She showed me a printed amendment with no signatures, no timestamps, just her initials. When I pushed back, she leaned in and said, "You can always file a complaint. But this event is already scheduled. We've invested a lot." That night, I found my fence gate unlocked. Looked like someone had snipped the chain. I installed trail cams the next morning and started documenting everything. Food trucks arriving early. Crews measuring the pond depth. One guy even tried to mark where the yoga mats should go. My own backyard turned into their playground. Now, I could have gone the legal route, but court injunctions take time, and Karen was smart. She didn't say they were owning the land, just celebrating its presence. Her words. So I did what anyone with trained stallions, a love for justice, and a sense of humor would do. I waited. The day of the event, I stayed out of sight. Guests started arriving mid-morning, sundresses, champagne flutes, the whole suburban fairy tale. Karen wore a white pantsuit with pearls and took the mic. "This pond represents unity. It's a jewel we all share." That's when I whistled. One long, sharp signal. Gate opened. Atlas charged first, massive, black and glistening in the sun. Then Brick and the rest followed. 5 stallions galloping toward the pond like it was a war march. People screamed. One yoga instructor dropped into child's pose and didn't move for 10 minutes. Someone's mimosa cart flipped. A guy in a salmon polo dove into the mud. Atlas leapt into the water with the grace of a show horse. Brick followed, kicking up a fountain as he landed. Within seconds, the pond became a splash zone. Karen stood frozen, mouth open, watching her perfect little event unravel like a paper fan in a thunderstorm. And yes, it was all filmed. I had my trail cams, plus half the guests had their phones out. One of them live-streamed the whole thing. Horses Crash HOA Lake Party went viral by dinner time. 500,000 views in 12 hours. I got interview requests from local news, then national. Karen tried to pivot. Sent a mass email claiming I endangered residents. But the footage showed clearly nobody was hurt. The horses were trained, calm, and stayed within the pond. It was Karen who had no right to be there. A week later, the HOA held an emergency meeting. I wasn't invited. Didn't need to be. Turns out, Karen had used HOA funds to pay for the event, the DJ, even the beautification posters. No vote, no approval. Just her and her power trip. The treasurer resigned. The secretary lawyered up. Karen was suspended indefinitely pending investigation. HOA bylaws were rewritten within a month. They added a clause specifically forbidding use of non-HOA land for events. The beautification clause. Gone. Buried. As for me, I kept the footage. Framed a still of Atlas mid-splash and hung it in my barn. Nowadays, folks wave when they walk past the ranch. Even some former HOA loyalists came by to apologize. One brought pie. I told him, next time, just bring carrots. The stallions earned it. And Karen? Last I heard, she moved to Arizona. Tried joining another HOA board there, but word travels fast. Last week, I hosted my first official Stallion Splash Dano tickets. No DJ, no flyers. Just neighbors, kids, picnic blankets, and a whole lot of laughing. Atlas trotted around like a celebrity. Someone even painted a little mural of him on the old feed shed. And I thought maybe this is how it should have always been. Not fences, not rules. Just people knowing where respect begins and ends. So yes, sometimes justice doesn't need a gavel. Sometimes it just needs hooves. What do you think? Did I go too far, or did she get what she had coming? Have you ever dealt with an HOA that crossed the line? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And remember, respect the land, or get trampled by it. But more than anything, this taught me something real. Sometimes, all folks need is a reminder that land isn't about lines on a map, it's about how you treat the people who live on it. Karen saw control. I saw responsibility. And when the hooves hit the water that day, maybe just maybe everyone else finally saw the difference too. Because in the end, it's not just about property, it's about pride, legacy, and standing your ground when the line gets crossed. And if the only language bullies understand is spectacle, then let the splash speak louder than any courtroom ever could. I still walk out to that pond every morning, coffee in hand, just to hear the stillness. The stallions graze nearby, the old windmill creaks like a memory, and that laminated sign Karen put up? It's nailed to my fence post right under a new one that says, "Private property with attitude." I smile every time I see it. Because at the end of the day, what they tried to claim wasn't land, it was dignity. And that ain't ever up for grabs.